All right, hey guys. So welcome to our second podcast, and we have on Maia. So Maia, do you want to introduce yourself and just tell the audience how you found out about tunnel vision and me?
Sure, yeah. I'm Maya. I compete in the bikini division, and this is actually my first year competing in bodybuilding. I joined Padit with tunnel vision back in January, I believe. I actually met Padit through a friend from my gym. He's kind of the guy that coaxed me into doing a bodybuilding show. And then I reached out to Padit actually for posing because I was originally going to prep myself, which is crazy. And then, Pata was kind of explaining to me that um, he recommends like getting a coach, and you never said like, oh, you have to go with me or whatever, but
Mhm.
he recommended, that I look into getting a coach because it is a really complicated process.
Yeah.
And anyway, I thought about it, and then a day later, I hopped on a call with you, and
Yeah.
right away, I knew I'm like, yeah, like I want to do this. I love Paddock's energy, and I knew that I wanted to learn, and I knew I wanted to do it correctly and make sure I do it in a healthy way. So then I joined the team.
Yeah. And what's crazy too is I said that because I literally looked at her and she sends me her diet. And her diet's like, I don't even have it exactly, but like it was like a snack was Doritos
I
and
know.
like a large double double. And I'm like, oh my God, this is what
Yeah,
this girl eats.
yeah.
She came to me because you came to me, what, like at 10 weeks out?
No. It was at like 16 weeks out. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, it was at like 16 weeks out.
Yeah, and then we like literally started prep like a week or not even a week later, you know.
Yeah, and you didn't even know anything about bodybuilding.
Anything. I can't believe I was like researching hard before and I was like, "Oh, like I'm just going to like do it for fun." But then after talking with you, I was like, "Okay, wait, like I actually feel like I could do well and I want to
Mm.
do well and I am super interested in the sport." I mean, I was wanting to compete for like a year probably before I reached out to you. And I was like, yeah, like I want to do this right.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I looked at her and I was like, this girl doesn't know how to pose. She doesn't even know how to train. And I'm like, she looks like this. And I'm like, you can't waste this potential, right? So that's why I was like, I'm gonna take her on as a client. But yeah, out of everyone, she came to me as a posing coach.
I
But because when you, I thought about that after, and I was like, why'd she come to me? I was like, she doesn't even know who I am. But
I know. Well, I asked my friend, and he was like, "Oh, like Padit is like starting up a team. Like he has some girls on the team." And I was like, "Okay, I don't know anyone in the
yeah,
bodybuilding world." So I was like,
that's so
why
funny.
not?" And then look where we
All
are now.
right, want to tell people because you've been like in sports and everything too, like a lot. Do you want to tell people like how you kind of got into even just fitness in general, like what your background is in like sports and stuff?
Yeah. So throughout high school, I played a lot of sports. Volleyball and track and field were like my main sports. And it was like my life for sure. Like I love sports. Um, and then after high school, I started to get into the gym because I knew I wasn't going to pursue like track and field or anything. So that's kind of what got me started into the gym. I also was bullied in high school and I was always called like that flat girl, that skinny girl, and I hated that. I mean, going to family events, it was always, oh, you need to eat more, like blah blah blah, and I was sick of that. I was like, okay, I need to get in the gym and grow a fatty.
Yeah, that's true. And
Yeah,
honestly, yeah, we've been growing it because that upper glute is really coming in now.
I know, it's crazy.
Like the amount of difference we made from your last prep to this prep has
Yeah,
like been insane, right? And
yeah.
then speaking of prep, so a lot of girls especially, so you've already been through your first like prep, um, and it's pretty fresh out, so you do know like a lot, like everything's like fresh in your mind. What would you say changed you like in prep, like from the first day you started prep till the day you got on stage, what do you think were the biggest differences that you've noticed?
Um, I would say there's so many skills I've learned, like the importance of discipline, my time management, embracing like delayed gratification, all those skills. And also just like forming a really solid routine. I feel like before I got into bodybuilding, I didn't really have like a routine that I would follow. I didn't really have a lot of structure in my life, and bodybuilding really gave me like that structure, which I love. Um,
Yeah. You started like you said you started like journaling too, right?
yeah, I started journaling. I started meditating. Like I think bodybuilding really allows you to focus on you, and I think like in the past that's something I struggled with was I was, well, in like my past relationship, I put all my energy into that person. And I honestly like lost touch with who I was. And I feel like bodybuilding really gave me like a purpose in life.
Hmm.
And immediately once we started working together, like I started waking up early, not even with setting an alarm, because I was excited to wake up and start my day and check off the boxes. And it gave me a goal. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly too, it's just like even me as a coach, I see you like develop so much as like an athlete too, from like the first day you started and like not knowing anything, not knowing like how important things are, to even now like with your brand and like everything that you're doing now on social media. It's like I see you like you're more disciplined on these things, right? And you're starting to like show the world like what bodybuilding really is, right? Because like a lot of people, they say bodybuilding like so lightly, and they're like, oh, it's a very easy sport. You just have to like stick to a diet, right? And you just have to do this and that. And as long as you have discipline, you'll be fine, right? So um I think the people that actually go through it, and like the people that are at like a higher level like you are, um yeah, you definitely see like a whole different perspective of that. Like
Yeah.
it's not as easy as people think it is, right?
Yeah, and I was even like saying the other day, like online, I feel like bodybuilding is really glamorized. Like you see these girls walking in their, sparkly bikinis and the makeup
Yeah.
and hair, and they're all shredded, and you're like, "Oh, I want to look like that. I want to be like that."
Hmm.
And but you don't truly realize the amount of effort it takes, the amount of sacrifice. It's unreal.
Like even on actually when you posted and everyone was like, oh my god, you look amazing, or even when we post you and people are like, oh my god, like she looks amazing, like she's gonna win her show, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't think people understand like how much effort you have to put in and how much struggle and like sacrifice you have to put in to get to that. Like when competitors stand there with like shredded glutes as guys, or you stand there with like shredded abs or like super thin skin, I don't think people understand what it takes to get down there, right? And like that's why us as coaches or people that are in the bodybuilding atmosphere, we're like, holy shit, this person's shredded, right? Or this person like looks insane, right? So like, yeah. Speaking of that though, what do you think was there any point in your last prep that you were like, I kind of want to pull out, like this was like hard for me?
Yeah, I mean, the beginning was great. I feel like for everyone, you're starting off, it's something new, you're excited, um, and it's all good. And then I feel like for me, it was around like the 6 weeks out mark where I really started to struggle. You know, the food noise was unreal. My energy was so low. I really did struggle, and I would have really bad like mood swings. Um, and I mean, you can talk to my sister about that, but yeah, and I was like, I knew I was going to push through because I was like, no, like when I say I'm going to do something, I know I will do it. But I definitely did have some moments of, oh, like I don't like this is a lot, and I
Hmm.
don't, I don't know if I will do it. I don't know.
But it's hard too when you don't have like, that's why people are like, yeah, bodybuilding's like, it's a mixture. It's like a team sport in a way where it's like team as in like your support system. But at the end of the day, like even me as your support system, or like anyone on the team, or your sister, your family, it's like we can only do so much, right? Like you are the person that has to put in the work to go every single day, right? Like even though I might tell you, okay, let's go push, let's do this, and we might have our talk, at the end of the day, you still have to go to the gym and you do your hours of cardio, right?
Yeah.
Um,
But I
and
think
honestly, too, it was tough because like you didn't even have like a crazy hard prep.
I know. I know.
Yeah,
That's what I was like thinking. I had refeeds quite often. My cardio never got like crazy high. Like at one point,
no,
you were doing 2 hours a day.
yeah, for like a couple days, that's it.
What? Really?
For me,
Yeah, for you.
well, I was gonna say for you, I was like, I don't remember you being. Yeah, I was doing 2 hours of cardio for
Yeah.
weeks. So
And yeah, I was getting refeeds because I'm lucky I have a nice
mhm,
metabolism. But I
yeah, it's definitely. I don't know. A lot of people definitely don't see that side of things for sure, and especially with how would you say your family took in bodybuilding, or like your friends and family too? Like, what do you think their how did they like accept you in bodybuilding? Like, was it good? Was it not?
first, I mean, my family has been very supportive. But at first, when I started bringing like my own meals to family gatherings, they were kind of like, "What are you doing?" Like my grandparents, oh my God, they were like, "It's not that serious." Like, what are you doing? Or at work, sometimes my managers would offer to buy us food if our shift got cut, and I
Mm-hmm.
would be like, "No, like it's okay." And they're like, "Well, you can at least get a salad. Like a salad is healthy." I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
"No, but I can't." So that was always really frustrating. But for the most part, my family was super supportive. They came to my show. They were cheering super loud in the crowd,
Mm-hmm. I
and
mean, if we dive even deeper into it, because a lot of people want to see like the gritty side into it. Where do you think like the dark sides of like bodybuilding was? Like, where do you think your struggle? Like, a lot of people, it's like mental struggles, like a lot of stress. Like, were there any days that you felt like you really just like alone, like by yourself?
oh yeah, for sure, 100%. I mean, I feel like there were points of prep where my energy was just so low, or where I just, my friends would invite me to go do stuff, but I would then think, oh, like I gotta prep all my meals though, and I'm so tired. Like, there's just no point in me going. So I
Mm-hmm.
did feel like pretty isolated, but I am really glad. Like, I had my sister who I live with, and she was always there for me, and I had you and the team of Tunnel Vision. Like, that was always by my side. And it was really great to be able to connect with the team because you guys know what it's like. You've been
Mm-hmm.
through prep, and I don't have a lot of friends that compete in bodybuilding or truly understand it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to be able to, talk about it with you guys. But yeah, for sure. There were days when I could barely get out of bed. Like walking up the stairs felt like a chore.
Mm-hmm.
My hair into a ponytail was a chore. My shoulders
Yeah.
felt like they were gonna fall off. Like just feeling
Yeah.
so lethargic and just so drained. Like, oof, yeah, it is
But
hard.
after all this though, because people are like, is it worth it? Because you're not getting paid or anything to go on stage, right? You're spending actually even a lot more money to step on that stage. So like a lot of people are like, with the amount of time, the suffering, all the mental stress that you put through, like all the pain that you put your body through for basically like half a year,
Yeah,
um, is it worth stepping on stage for? You of course got more time on stage, but for most competitors, is it worth stepping on stage for a minute max?
yeah, 100%. 100%. Like after I stepped on that stage that first time, you literally feel like euphoric. Like nothing beats that feeling, and just the whole atmosphere, and the energy is amazing. And I've always been super competitive, so having that like competition again for me was so amazing. Like that rush of adrenaline, I love it.
Why do you think it's like that though? Like with all the from like a normal person's like perspective, it's like, yeah, this person's dieting for like 20 weeks, they're eating like nothing. They're doing all this cardio. They're putting all their body through this for like a minute of like satisfaction. Like, why do you think when you step on stage you feel like satisfied?
Because I know that like I put in the work, and all those hard moments where I pushed through, like I did that. Like
Mhm.
I how do I put this in words? I'm bad at speaking.
Like, it's rewarding.
Yeah, it's so rewarding. Yeah. Anyway, you go.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to think.
Um,
My brain is also like 2 weeks out. Like I'm so tired.
I mean, going into that, how do you feel this prep compared to your last prep? Because we started this prep at like 6 weeks basically, because we did like a 2 week push.
Yeah.
So we basically started this prep at 6 weeks. So you've only been prepping for 4 weeks for this national show.
Has it been? No, it's been
Yeah, we
longer.
started prep at like,
We
or
started
8 weeks
at
maybe.
10 weeks.
Well, and then we did a 2 week push.
Yeah, so eight
So
weeks.
yeah, 8 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you feel going around this time? Like already knowing like what to expect?
Yeah, I feel really good. I feel like now that I know like what's at the end of the tunnel, I don't know, I feel like it's made this prep almost easier in a way. But I've been pushing so much harder with this prep. I feel like now I know I've learned a lot. Especially with like training intensity. I think that's like the main thing. With my last prep, I feel like towards the end, I was like, oh, like I'm low energy, my food's low, so I shouldn't be able to push heavy weight. And then, I would get in my head, so I just wouldn't train as hard. But
Mm,
now I'm like, okay, sure, I do feel weaker, but I'm still gonna try and lift as heavy as I can. And I think
mm,
that's made a huge difference with like keeping that density.
for
Uh,
sure.
and with cardio as well. I mean, I was not pushing hard with cardio at all in my first prep. I don't think I realized that you should be treating your cardio sessions just like you would your training. And
Mm.
so I started doing that, and I feel like the conditioning is way better this time.
Yeah, because I can even put like two photos back to back right now. Like I'll pop them up. But I'm like, the amount of density that she has now, and of course you're coming off of a show, so you're of course going to be bigger and you're going to be more full of glycogen. But even this prep too, people are like, you can feed a client into a show. I'm like, you're actually eating way less now. You're doing even more cardio now that you did your last prep,
Yeah,
right? But the look that we have now, you look also much bigger. You also look much drier now,
yeah,
right? So, I mean, it's just those things that you learn during prep, right? But at the same time, it's like the judges loved your conditioning. They loved your presentation, every single thing about you. It was literally just the minor parts that we needed to bring up, right? And we definitely brought those parts up for sure. Um, yeah, no, honestly, like I'm super excited for your show. There's gonna be a lot of people at your show for sure. How do you feel right now being 2 weeks out?
I'm excited. I'm
Because
definitely
for
nervous.
context wise, she's doing her first ever like national show in like her first year competing. So
Yeah, I am definitely very nervous. But I'm also trying to just, embrace this moment because I know that after I compete, I mean, show day goes so fast. And once it's over, I'm like, that's my last show of the season. So, yeah,
yeah.
I'm trying to just embrace every step of the way.
And then there's one thing too, like a lot of people right now, they probably always want to know too, what is your training split looking like right now?
Yeah, so it's pretty much all glutes. No, Monday, you want me to go through like every day?
Yeah, we can go through every day.
Sure. So Monday I train quads with a little bit of glutes. I just have hip thrusts.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tuesdays is pull, so I have back, well, a bit of shoulders and then arms. Wednesday is glute focused, and then rest on Thursday. Fridays are shoulders and arms, and then Saturdays is hamstring focus and glutes, and then
Mm-hmm.
Sunday rest. So
Yeah.
a lot of glute, upper glute. I mean, that was my feedback from the judges, was to build my upper glutes, and I feel like they've really come in.
Yeah. Yeah. And we definitely added some like different techniques because realistically, you're not going to really put on too much muscle in 10 weeks before
Yeah.
a show, especially still being in like a caloric deficit. Even though we did like a 2 week push before she started, there's only so much muscle or a fullness you can put on as like a natural client. So we definitely added some different like mechanics to like have her upper glutes look much fuller. Because bodybuilding is all like an illusion sport, right? It's not like you basically just hide your weak points and you show your strong points, right? So, um, yeah,
Yeah. And I also feel like it is a lot of genetics. I think a lot of people don't like realize.
yeah, because your glutes are actually one of your stronger points. Your glutes and your quads are
Mhm.
actually one of your stronger points, right? And honestly, too, you have like the foundation from track, right? Like you have those strong legs, and a lot of bikini legs actually come from track,
Yeah. Like
right? So,
Ashley Kaltwasser or whatever, she ran track.
mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
who did?
Ashley Call, how do you say her last name?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go into a whole nother topic because I know that you're getting into like coaching and stuff to yourself, right?
Mhm.
So for everyone out there, what do you think? Because you're coming in from like a new coaching perspective, right? What do you think you've noticed that's, I guess, harder for like coaches that want to get into it? And you like upcoming as a coach, it's like, what do you think people make mistakes with when getting into coaching?
I think make mistakes with.
Mhm. Like, what was your like hardest struggle? Because even for me, like for example, like I've tried coaching multiple times and you always learn something different from each time, right? So for me, it was like I wasn't consistent enough with, um, for example, like social media, like posting. Or another thing was I was posting too much where I just was too desperate, right? Or,
Yeah, I find it hard to like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people are doing coaching right now, and I feel like it's kind of figuring out what differentiates you from other coaches and like really knowing like what you want to give and
mm,
what your like focus is. And I feel like um for me, like, and I feel like this is kind of similar with you, is like building that community of like-minded people where
mm,
you have a space where you can connect with others and grow and learn from each other. And also, I think it's difficult when you have, a client that doesn't seem like super, super into it. And I think when I say I want a client, I look for someone kind of like myself, that I know I'm going to show up and, I
mm,
will send every single check-in on time and, I'm going to do the work. So it's difficult when you have someone that just, you don't really see that fire. And it's like, how do you go about that?
I
And
know,
that's
yeah.
actually a question for you, maybe like, what do you do when you have clients that, aren't putting in the work or, you know?
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like they, of course, they paid you, right? So like they hired you to, because there's like 50-50 too. Like there's some people that pay you to make an excuse and they go, oh, I paid this guy to do all my work, right? So I'm going to change no matter what because I hired a coach, right? But then there's other people that like they already bought into you. So they made an investment into you. So they trust you already, right? So it's like, of course, you can only do so much, but it's like, hey, I'm from day one, I always tell all my clients, like I even told you, I was like, if you give me 110%, I'm always going to be there 110% too. Right. But if you give me 50%, there's only so much that I can do. Right. Because I'm going to be 100% no matter what. But I expect the same energy from you. Right. So I notice if you set those standards and you set them at the beginning, then they're ready, like motivated to go. Right. Because a lot of people, they hire coaches because, especially like a lot of lifestyle clients, they hire coaches because they have no discipline and they have no motivation, right? And them getting a trainer or like a coach is just them being like, okay, I'm gonna get this for discipline purposes, right? So I have a coach, I have a session at this time and this time. So I'm at least knowing I'm going to go 3 times a week, 4 times a week with my personal trainer, right? So um, it basically just depends you as a coach and them buying into you. You kind of have to, if you show, I always say, if you show interest in a client and you show interest in not even just them in fitness, but you show an interest in them and their life, they're going to be with you for a long, long time, right? And they have that open communication, right? Like look
Right.
at me and you, like we've literally become friends. And
Yeah.
like the first call I was on with you for, I would literally was like, this girl's so quiet. I was like, this girl literally didn't even talk, right? And I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go, right? But now we got like Airbnbs together. Like now we're like all chilling as friends now, right? So, um, but at the same time too, it's like, yeah, you still have the connection where you're a friend, but you're also a coach, right? Because I've had it too, where like I've coached my friends too, and like they still see me as a friend, right? They don't see me as a coach, and it just doesn't work out like that, right? Whereas like, let's say you and me, you still have respect for me as a coach, and I still have respect for you as a client, right? And then when it's time to hang out, then we can be friends, right? So it's just
Yeah.
those like little things, but yeah, it's definitely tough though. I've had that, especially like with personal training at like gyms and stuff. And like the client literally they cancel like every single week, right? And it's like you can just tell they have no motivation. And at that point, you can only do so much as a
Yeah. And I
coach,
think
right?
that's why the competition prep coaching, like that's kind of what I'm gravitated towards.
Hmm.
You're working with people who, already have like that discipline. Um, and they're working towards like this big, I don't know, like they already have that fire in them and a
Yeah.
basic understanding of the gym. Yeah.
But I genuinely think it's just the first conversation you have, and it's like that's the thing. It's I always told you too, like the your clients are not going to be the same clients as mine, right? Like we're not going to have the same energy, right? Your clients are going to like you for your personality. My clients are going to like mine for my personality, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, that's coaching for you. It's definitely it's definitely tough for sure.
Yeah, I even want to get into like posing, like coaching as well.
That's one thing you can do because actually, for people that don't know, um, yeah, Maya came to me for posing. We probably only did 1 or 2 sessions together. And then Sophie just came to the second session, and then she literally just learned everything by herself. Um, I
I
actually
love
want to tell people how important posing is with
that.
bodybuilding.
Actually, if I'm going to give a tip to someone who is new to bodybuilding, it would be to start practicing your posing right away. Like, I don't care if you're like, a year away from your show, start practicing now, because when you get up on that stage, you can tell who has practiced
Mhm.
and who has not. And it makes the biggest difference because if your posing isn't on point, then you may not be able to show your best, you know, uh, look on stage.
Mhm. And
So
even actually, we worked on Maya's flexibility too, which has given us an illusion to make her certain parts look bigger than others. Um, but even that, it's like, yeah, like she did a true novice category, and you can tell Maya looked like she's been in it for a while. Like people were probably like, she's not a true novice girl, right? Because she's practiced posing, and she sends me stuff all the time of her like posing, and it's always like developing different ways of how to pose. Like she literally was 3 weeks out like a few days ago, and you
yeah,
literally sent me a thing, and you're like, I probably shouldn't change up my 15-second routine, but like let me change it up.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, it's just like she's always looking for ways to develop, and I'm like, a lot of people, it's not that hard. Like especially guys too. Like guy posing, I would say certain parts are much harder, just because there are more poses. But like, if a guy, you look at yourself in the mirror and you look at all these other pro bodybuilders, and I'm like, as a guy, if you look at yourself in the mirror, like you know that it looks wrong, right?
yeah,
So I'm like, I always tell guys, I'm like, look at yourself in the mirror, close your eyes, and then hit it again, and then look at yourself in the mirror again, right? Because I'm like, if you actually follow bodybuilding, you know that your posing's wrong. Like you know something's off, right? So even with you, you were like, I like practice how to pose, but I just know something's like off with my posing, right?
yeah, yeah. And also something that I've been doing is not posing in front of the mirror. So
Mm,
turn around and face the other way. I think that's a huge one. I wish I did that more with my first prep.
Because when you go and you're like, yeah, because when you go and you're thinking a mirror's in front of you,
Yeah.
yeah, and you're trying to focus on like posing in front of you rather than posing down towards the judges, right? So
Yeah, yeah. And holding your poses, like now whenever I practice my posing, like I have a structure and I follow it. And it honestly makes it more enjoyable too. Unless, instead of just going into the posing room and hitting your 15-second and then calling
and
it a
leaving, all right.
day. Yeah.
And then actually jumping into this topic too, how would you say, so a lot of people that get into like bodybuilding in general, most people we get it into it from other things. Like for me, I got into it from sports too, right? Same as you. But some others they get into it for like health purposes, or like they've went through like a weight loss journey and they like fell in love with bodybuilding, right? Um how would you say that the bodybuilding like affects that? Like is there a way that like the nutrition aspect can affect like eating disorders or like mental disorders and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think if you go into a bodybuilding prep with a bad relationship with food, then oh, you're set up for disaster, you know? Like it's extreme for sure, but for me, like I've never really had issues with eating and stuff. For me, I don't know, like it fixed my relationship with food, and also I just like learned a lot about food and um, how how carbs especially, you use them to, you know, like fuel your workouts. And I see food
Mm,
as like fuel now. And rather than like what's good for you and bad for you, I think there's a time for all foods. But it's just like I've learned a lot about how, food there's purpose behind it. And
yeah.
honestly, I've never felt better. Like I don't bloat anymore. I don't have gut issues. My skin has cleared. I used to struggle with severe acne. Like growing up, it was one of
Mm.
my biggest insecurities. And now like I never get acne. Like it's crazy.
Actually, yeah, I even noticed when we first were like training together. Yeah, you had like forehead acne. I never even realized
I
that.
know. I used to be covered in like cystic acne, and I was always like, "Oh, like I don't know why," but it's probably your diet. I
Mm,
mean, people, I feel like so many people they're depressed and stuff, but then it's like, okay, but have you looked at your diet? Like,
mm.
what are you consuming? Because what you consume like shows on the outside, you know?
Yeah, and like a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, "Oh, I feel good on the outside." So I'm like everything's good, right? But like people don't understand how much this affects like one of the most important organs is your liver, right? And like you might feel perfectly fine, but your skin might break out, like all these things might be like bad, right? Like even for me it's like, yeah, like a month ago my liver was like horrible, like my liver enzymes were horrible, right? From like the last prep I went through and like all the stress and everything. You don't realize that because like then I went to go get like an IV of glutathione, and then right after like my skin started glowing, like all the acne was gone. And then was like, whoa, this energy came out of nowhere, right? But you don't like realize that because it like slowly creeps up on you,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
yeah,
That's true. But yeah, like weighing out your food every day, like it is a lot. And it could be definitely triggering for someone who's struggled with
for sure.
food in the past.
What would you say then? Okay, someone like that then, that has like past eating disorders, let's say they wanted to get into bodybuilding, what would you advise them to do?
Um, I think, well, first, anyone who wants to get into bodybuilding, I think you should really sit with yourself and, you know, think about why you want to do it and
Hmm.
what's your reasons behind getting into competing. Because if it's because you just got out of a breakup and you're trying to like
Hmm.
get revenge and try and be your hottest self or whatever, then that's not a good enough reason. Um, I think you have to really have passion for the sport. And yeah, so I feel like if the person is like very passionate and they know they want to, do this for good reason, then I don't know, it's just a part of the sport and it's not
Hmm.
forever. You know, you don't have to weigh your food forever.
Yeah, and
Like,
like the dark sides of bodybuilding, it's like, I mean, okay, if we can go this direction, but a lot of bodybuilders, it's like most of it is mental. Like a lot of bodybuilders have a lot of mental health issues, um, and etc. Just because they don't have the right people to open up to, right? And they think bodybuilding is such like an individualized sport that, yeah, like a lot of times we're like, when we get upset, let's say on prep, or like we're just very stressed, right? A lot of people are like, I didn't choose to do this prep. Like this was all you, right? So it's like then we get in that mindset where it's like, yeah, it is all me. Like I chose to get into this prep, so why am I putting other people through this, right? So then you start holding everything in, right? And it's like I feel like if no matter what you do in bodybuilding, it's always going to be a mental struggle, right? It's like, yeah, mental struggle with food, mental struggle with like even all the stress that you have to go through, physical and mental stress, and the fatigue that you have to go through also now, right? And it's like it connects back to like having like a support system. I feel like if someone like that wants to get into bodybuilding, you have to have like a good support system around you, right? Like someone you can really like fall back on and like actually trust to just even like rant to, right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And having like hobbies outside of bodybuilding, that's something that I
Hmm.
talk about a lot.
Yes.
Because I think, especially with my first prep, I just kind of became so consumed by it and I kind of shut everything else out, which was a mistake. I think, you know, you still need to make time for your friends and make time for other things that you enjoy
Hmm.
if you want longevity with sport.
Yeah. It's definitely much easier though prepping during the summertime though.
Oh, so much easier, so much
Yeah.
better. I
Because
love,
then you're not cold all the time too.
yeah, you're not cold. And
And it's not depressing outside.
yeah, yeah. No, I love prepping over summer. This prep is being really great, honestly. No complaints.
Yeah,
Like,
you're like gliding through this prep. It's so fast.
yeah, it's been great. It's going so quick. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, okay, so we all go through this, but like, do you ever deal with any like body image struggles? And like, do you ever compare yourself to like any other girls? And like, does that like really get to your head sometimes?
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, that's actually one of my tips, probably for new competitors as well, is to not go looking for people that are competing at your show online. Because I mean, social media is just a highlight reel of your life. You know, everyone posts the best photos of themselves online. So you can't compare yourself to someone else's journey. You know, at the end of the day, like everyone's different. Everyone's journey looks different. You at 4 weeks might look completely different to someone else at 4 weeks. It doesn't matter. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's who shows up on the day of the show, and it's what the judges think. But yes, body image, I struggle with that heavily. You know, some days I feel great, other days I look in the mirror and I'm like, "Oh, I don't like what I see." But I
Yeah.
think that's just a part of it. And yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, even too, it's like Maya, her first show, I literally was like, do not look at any single person. And like, I remember, what was it, the night before, or no, the night of, or the day of, I went to the hotel and then we got the sheets and she's like, oh, I already know what this girl looks like. I already know what this girl looks like. And I was like, oh my God.
Like
I was
looking
like,
up the names on Instagram. I mean, you can't help but be curious, you
it
know,
is true. Yeah.
of course.
But at the
And
same time, too, it's like, it's so crazy because like me as a coach, I see you from like an outside perspective. And like everyone too, we see each other from like an outside perspective. And I would even talk to Sophie too. And I'd be like, okay, not to like shit on anyone here, but I'm like, I would be like, Maya looks like this and she's scared of this person. And like Maya would be like, oh my God, like this girl looks insane. And like me and Sophie would just look at each other. We're like, what the hell is she talking about? Like we're not even in the same league. But that's just the thing. It's like your mind plays such like games with you.
I mean, also with bodybuilding, you're in the gym surrounded by mirrors every single day. I mean, the sport is at the end of the day, it's about how you look.
Hmm.
So it is hard to not become consumed with looks, appearance. Um,
Yeah.
but
And then how do you, for these tough days, especially now being what, 3 weeks out now?
yeah, well, 2 weeks. This is definitely This is now where I'm starting to really feel.
Yeah. So like,
Last week, or no, it was like a week and a half ago, you were like, the worse you feel, the better you look. And it's true though. Now I'm
because
learning.
this is we've been hiding like Maya's physique, but like this is like the most craziest Maya has actually ever looked, like through any,
Actually,
and we're not even finished yet. That's the thing. But like even like we were talking last night, like your face is like so much smaller now.
I
Because
know.
like before you had like chipmunk cheeks, but now
Yeah,
you actually have like a prep face, right?
I know. I
Um,
wish my prep face would stay. I'm excited to grow in the off season, but it'd be nice if my face could stay this.
I wish, I know.
Yeah.
But going into that, then how do you, I guess, motivate yourself through like tougher days?
Um, I just think that like the things that I'm doing now is just building my mental toughness, and I just I know how rewarding it feels to step on stage, and I know that these hard days are what like makes me grow as a person. And you know, I think if you always stay comfortable and just do, the things that you want to do, then you're not going to grow as a person. And I know that the hardest days are the ones that matter the most. And
Hmm.
those are the days where I need to show up and still put in my all. And if 100% might look different on one day than it does the next, but as long as I show up, like I go to sleep knowing that I'm proud of myself and that I'm one step further to reaching my goals.
Yeah, and I always say too, it's like I developed a mindset where now it's like for me, I'm like, did I earn my sleep? You know, like, and it does sound really weird, but I'm like, did I do everything in my day so that I can go to sleep like peacefully?
Yeah, and
You
I
know?
think like bodybuilding prep, I don't know if you've heard of the term the calloused mindset. It's
Hmm.
what I've read in the David Goggins book.
Hmm.
But yeah, whatever. But like those, where was I going with that? Oh, you distracted me. Um, but like life is hard. Life is gonna throw obstacles at you. But I think bodybuilding prep really teaches you that you can get through hard days, like you are capable of so much more than you think you are.
Hmm.
Um, and by pushing through those tough times when life throws you obstacles, when you have to deal with, hard shit, you'll be able to push through that because you know that you've done it in the past and like you're capable.
Yeah, and like that's the one thing too I was saying in my last podcast. It's like people don't understand like the life lessons you can learn from bodybuilding, right? And like people just see it as like, oh, I would never do that. And I was like, yeah, of course you would never do that, right? And it's like there's one quote that was always like, people get jealous of where you're at, but they never get jealous of how you got there,
Mm.
right? It's because no one wants to put in the work, right? And like, yes, there is that one hard ass like motherfucker that will put in the work beside you, right? And like that's the person that you have to fight up against, right? And it's like I tell Maya all the time, it's like, yeah, there's someone when you're on the stairs, just think about there's someone working harder than you on those stairs too, right? Especially now that she's going into nationals. I'm like, all these girls are top girls, right? I'm like, yes, there are girls that are there that won like top three at like a little show, but I'm like, some of these girls have been trying for years to get a pro card, right? And I'm like, these girls are like hungry. Like this is like the big show now, right? So I think that just like lights a fire up your ass a little bit more.
Oh,
But
100%. That's what I think about that all the time. I'm like, these girls are doing one more rep, so I can do one more
mhm,
rep. Like
yeah.
I am, again, that's my competitive side coming out, but I am like, so I want it so bad. I want the pro card. I want it so bad.
Okay, what would you say? Okay, because you already did your show or your first show. Um, coming off stage, what do you think was the best thing you've eaten off stage?
Off stage. So right away I had that Krispy Kreme donut that I had.
Yeah, tell them the story. You didn't even walk. You didn't even walk from backstage yet.
I couldn't wait. But at the show, they had a whole buffet of donuts and cookies and brownies, all the things that I love. And I have my containers from all my food. And
This is
Padit,
before we even went on stage. We didn't even go on stage yet.
Padit starts stuffing my containers full of these cookies and stuff. And then yeah, as soon as I was done, I had a Krispy Kreme donut.
Yeah, I was like, oh Maya, like let's wait to go out so I can take a photo with you and everyone taking a bite of your.
It was like mid bite.
I know she's like, I can't wait, I can't wait. I was like, holy crap.
And then I had crumble for the first time. That slapped. That was
That
really
was
good.
your first time?
Yeah, that was my first time having crumble.
Damn,
Hmm.
from a special someone. That's nice.
You're cutting that out.
I'm not cutting that out.
um, but yeah, my cravings for sweets are at an all time high. I feel
Are you
like
like a are you like a sweets person or a savory person?
I'm more of a savory person, but I feel like during prep, I'm more of a sweets person. You know, because
You know
my
why that is?
why?
Because your blood sugars are like so low.
Oh, yeah.
And you gotta think like imagine the crash that you had because you came off stage at like what time did we come off stage?
Oh God, it's like 8 or something.
Yeah, because by the time we went to the restaurant, it was like super late.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that
That
whole
was
we gotta tell. Yeah, we gotta tell that after. But
yeah.
yeah, because she came. Actually, I was feeding her so much. Actually, we can talk about that stuff from last night. But
Oh yeah.
okay, so this is my thing. So I always write like a peak mock peak program for my clients, so I can like so I know what to expect during the peak week. And I literally was like, so the more I fed Maya on Saturday, the better she looked actually. And I literally was like, that threw me off so much because I'm like, I thought I peaked her like perfectly in the morning. But then she was holding still a little bit of like water, so I gave her some more shots. I gave her like extra things. And then she started like drying out. So like by the time she actually finished at finals, that was like the best that she's ever looked. Um, do you want to tell them why?
No, yeah. Yeah, so I think it was like 4 weeks out. Like I did cheat on my diet, and it was at work. And again, no excuses, but working in a restaurant during prep sucks. It really does suck. Anyway, yeah, so and I was so mad with myself. Like I felt like a failure. I was too embarrassed to tell Padit, which I regret doing. I really wish I did tell you because I know we could have, talked about it and bounced back.
Mhm,
But I decided to hide it instead. So, but I think this is probably something that's pretty common with a lot of,
mhm,
first time competitors. I mean, you're not expected to be perfect, and I think I had that mindset where if I slip up, it's the end of the world, and like I'm a failure, I don't deserve this, blah blah blah. So I was pretty upset with myself, but um, yeah, I wish
well,
I
honestly,
wish we could talk about it. Yeah.
honestly too, it just shows like the communication, um, and honestly, just the strength to like come to your coach and like the connection that you guys have. Because yeah, she didn't tell me that time, but she also told me like now, right? Like she could go her whole life without telling me that, right? And
Yeah,
I could just think like I just peaked her wrong, right?
yeah. But
But
that's the thing, because then you, as a coach, don't know why the scale's going up, or you don't know why my body is starting to hold water, whatever
mhm,
it is. So that's not fair to your coach. So,
mhm.
because then it makes you feel like, what am I doing wrong?
Because even actually, you want me to read this out? I'll read this out. Because I
Hashtag exposed.
so actually Maya sent her check-in, so it said the date, so March 14th, because this was around like 4 weeks out, right?
Hmm.
So Maya sent her check-in, and I was like, my notes were very flat. She was sitting at a certain weight. I was like, push for glutathions, refeed potentially 2 days. I was like, increase cardio, high intensity. So then she sent her check-in on the 15th, and I was like, weight drop. So she dropped almost a pound and a half. I was like, prepare for refeed. Let's hold the plan. Watch for water retention in hips to glutes on the sides. And then on March 16th, um, she held the weight. So I was like, let's do a refeed, 75%. Cardio stays the same. Let's control water retention, should be zero. So we'll reassess in the evening. And she sent her evening check in. And then for me, I was like, stomach's a little blown. I'm holding a film of water. But I remember you also went to like a social gathering. That was actually super late too, because I think that check in you sent me was almost like 12 or like 11:30. And I was like, maybe she's just like a little stressed from like that social gathering, right? And then on the 17th, I was like, weight increase higher, maybe just from that stress too, because you did sling your check in late. But then you did get up really early too. So I was like, maybe it's from that. Um, so I said, let's do a rest day refeed. Um, we're going to drop cardio a little bit, and then let's do a 60% refeed, because maybe there's like stress on her body, right? And then on the 18th, there was actually a huge increase to a certain amount of weight. And then she was inflamed. Um, and then the types of food that I gave her, I was like, okay, let's not go with this food, because maybe it was the foods and the sugar in it. So I'm like, okay, we're not touching this anymore. Let's plan another mock peak in 2 weeks. And I was like, add cardio back, lower carbs for check-in tomorrow. And then for me, I was like, my markers are off, my reads are off. Let's reassess. And in my head already, I was like, did she cheat on her diet? Right. And I was like, watch closely for sodium and water retention. Um, but yeah, and then after that, so for me, I didn't even know that she like cheated on her diet. I just thought that like my reads were wrong on her body. Um, but yeah, like her telling me now, I was like, honestly, like it's just something to laugh at now because like it's over now. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it just like boosted my confidence as a coach because I'm like, oh, I actually did
Yeah,
recreate.
yeah. But
But
I
yeah.
think if that does like happen to you, speaking to whoever is listening, like tell your coach, and know that it's not the end of the world. I think it's about how you bounce back from those situations, and
Mhm,
I feel like this prep is like that I'm going through right now is like day and night compared to my first one. So
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and it just shows like the communication with like your coach too, right? Because I'm like, yeah, like with that, well, I guess we learned from that too, where it's like, yeah, if Maya were to, because this was her mock peak, this wasn't just like a normal refeed. So I was like, yeah, if Maya were to actually tell me that, then I would just like erase this whole mock peak, and her peak would actually look different, right? But that's the one thing too is like, actually, I was talking to one of my friends about this, and it was like, when you get into coaching, it's like a lot of stuff is just trial and error, right? And I was like, if I didn't know the things that I knew backstage, Maya probably would have went in super watery, and not peaked perfectly, right? Because actually, even actually, it was your sister. It was India. She was sitting in the audience, and I think it was from your true novice. It was from your true novice to your open class, and she was like, "How the hell did Maya just get so dry?" I didn't tell her why, because like we did some stuff backstage, but Ali was like, yeah, like we added a few things here and there. And then every time you went on, because you did true novice, you did novice, and then you did your open class, and then you did, oh no, they did overalls at the end, but they were like, holy shit, she's getting better and better every time. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just those things that I was telling him. I was like, it's just those things where it's trial and error. You don't understand these things until you actually get there and you understand your client, right? And that's the thing that I say, communication is so important, because yeah, even though this happened during our prep, I was like, me and Maya almost like communicated like every single day, like we talked like for hours in a day, right? And it's just like I basically already knew her body, even on top of like what's happening here, right? So yeah, if a hiccup comes up, then I'm like, I know how to fix it already, right?
Well,
um,
even with this prep, with my one refeed, I was like super bloated after, like, I had a burger
Oh yeah,
recently,
because you were in the sun too. Oh yeah, 'cause I remember.
and I was like really bloated. And
That was partially my fault too, because I just told you you were allowed mayo.
yeah, you're like ketchup, mayo, mustard, whatever you want, like put anything on your burger. I was like,
It's just
okay.
loaded up.
So I like loaded it up with sauce, and then that was definitely it, the sauce.
Yeah, yeah. But honestly, we fixed that though, because then we're like, okay, let's do because already we were like, okay, in case she does hold water, we have this action plan to take, right? So like for every one of my clients, like even for Maya, like I keep a book on her too. But like I have like it's like a secret backup plan. And it's like, yeah, if Maya holds water, if she comes in flat, what am I gonna do? Right. So it's like a backup plan of what to do. But like, yeah, we actually fixed that within like a day. Like
Yeah,
that one actually wasn't that hard. This
no,
one, cause like it actually went on for like 2 days because I just didn't know what was happening. So it was like 2 days and I was just so confused. But we just cut carbs, and honestly you still went in and we still did really really good, to be honest.
yeah,
And realistically with the feedback, I don't really think it affected anything, to be honest, because you were also like 4 weeks out, like you were so far out.
yeah.
um this prep though,
This
i'm a,
prep's
I'm a
different.
yeah, I'm gonna clip this, but you guys are gonna see a different Maya this prep for sure. Okay, what is your favorite body part to train?
Ooh, this is a classic, probably bikini girl answer, but glutes. I love training glutes. I love getting a good glute pump, but I also like training shoulders.
But like Maya's workouts aren't like any other like workout though. Like her
Yeah,
workouts are like they're like heavy and like a lot of volume.
yeah, yeah. Those
So
myo reps and like the rest pauses, those have been
yeah.
a game changer in my training. Like I never used to, I didn't even know what those were, before I started training with you. I mean, it's crazy because before we started training together, I thought I knew so much. I was like, oh my God, I know everything about the gym. I don't need a coach. Like I
Mhm.
could do this myself. Girl, like what? I've learned so much from you. And I think if you're really into the gym and you want to get into bodybuilding, leave your ego at the door and embrace like learning the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah, that was definitely one thing I should have done when I first started getting into bodybuilding, because I thought that too, and I was like, "Oh, prep is easy. Like you just like lose weight and you just get ready for right."
Yeah,
And then you look at all these things on like online and you're like, "How do you like carb up a person?" And like they just give you some sort of formula and you're like, "Oh, this is easy. Like I can carb up someone easily." Right? And it's like I literally got my first coach and I was like, I know nothing. Like I didn't know what the hell he was talking about at all. But yeah, it just shows that, and it's like,
or
look
like a
at you now.
class and like stuff.
Exactly, but look at you now. It's like, look how far, even for you, you can start giving this to your clients too, right? And it's like a lot of coaches too. I mean, this goes to a whole nother part, but it's like the mentors that you have is going to always improve you, right? So like for me, I have mentors too. Like for Maya, she has mentors also, right? And it's like you have to be open, like open minded in this sport to actually grow in this sport, right? Like I
Yeah,
know a lot of people that are like, oh, like I know this. Like my cousin's a pro bodybuilder, and I'm like, that makes no difference, you
yeah,
know.
no, no, yeah,
So
no, I agree.
okay, we'll do, because I know you're tired, so we'll do one last one, and then you can leave. But uh, actually, we'll do two. Okay, we'll do two. So so because you're super big on like social media, right?
Yeah.
So how do you think social media has impacted you as like a person, growing your business, growing your brand, and like even bodybuilding in general?
Um, I think with social media, like, I mean, I've been posting a lot on like YouTube and making a lot of YouTube videos and documenting my journey. And I think that is something that I really recommend to people because it allows you to look back on your journey and see your growth. Um, but it's also just a place where I like to express myself and express, what I'm going through and how my body's changing. And again, I think it's just a great way to also connect with other people and yeah, build a community.
Do you think there's any negatives when it comes to like, let's say like haters or like people that talk bad about you guys? Do you think there's
Yeah.
any like, does that ever get to you?
No, honestly, no. Like, on YouTube, I get a lot of hate or like comments that are just super, sexualizing us and whatever. But, haters are going to hate. You're always going to have a hater. And what I say is let them, let people think what they want. The only thing that you can control is what you say and do. So, yeah.
Yeah. And like, especially in this industry too, it's like, yeah, it's a really nice industry. Everyone's like super supportive. But at the same time, a lot of people envy you too, right? Like once you start going up there, I was like, yeah, Maya probably has a bunch of bikini girls that message her, but at the same time, they want to beat her at the same time, right? And there's a lot of coaches that talk to me all the time, but at the same time, they want to be a higher coach than I am, right? And it's like, yeah, you carry everything and you carry yourself at a point where you're not, it's not like you're hated by anyone, but you're also not like too fake with anyone. But I always say you just give the same energy back to people, right? So I'm like, if the haters are gonna hate you, don't give them any energy, right? But or like let's say you have a fake person, you're gonna give back the same energy. You're not gonna be like a super nice person because why are you wasting your energy on that, right?
No, I think if someone's going to hate and I don't know, I just let them do their thing and I'm
Yeah.
just going to keep to myself. And I feel like I now am so confident in who I am that it doesn't matter what anyone says about me, because
Mm-hmm.
I know what I want and I know that I'm a good person and that's what matters.
Because no matter what, it's like, yeah, especially me in coaching, it's like when I got into this, it was I got a lot of hate for like all this, and they're like, "Oh, this like," because I started at 21, and they're like, "Oh, this 21-year-old, like, what does he know about coaching?" And realistically, I didn't know anything about coaching. I was like, I just wanted to get into it just to get into it, right? Just because I thought I loved helping people, right? Um, but even now, it's like, yeah, if I didn't carry that on, and if I just listened to those haters, I wouldn't be where I am right now, right? And those people are always gonna drag you down, and they're gonna try to make a name for you to be like, oh, this person's this and that. And yeah, word's gonna spread. Like there was a lot of words spread about me too as a coach. But at the same time, you show your worth and you show who you really are, right? And those people that understand are gonna be the people that understand. The people that don't are gonna be the people that don't. So there's nothing you can really control, right?
Yeah, except for like what you do. And that's why I think, prioritizing your own mental health and like taking the time to, you know, learn about your values and who you are. Like, I feel like after, like, I went through a really big heartbreak, I then took that year to, I was listening to podcasts and taking the time to really discover like, who I am, what I want to preach.
Hmm.
It all starts from within, I think, with anything that you do in life.
Yeah. Okay. Last one. So, what do you think your biggest lesson with bodybuilding was? And if you were to know one thing before you started bodybuilding, what would that be?
I guess the biggest lesson I've learned probably through bodybuilding is that growth comes where comfort ends, I would say. Those uncomfortable moments are what shaped me into, who I am. What was the second part of the question?
It's one thing you wish you knew before you started bodybuilding.
Probably like how challenging like the low energy levels are, at the end. And just, I wish I knew that I would, like, how tired I would get and how that would affect like my mood and just being able to handle it better, And
Mhm.
now I feel like I am able to because I went through it, but just realizing how important communicating your feelings to the people that you love, and to those that are around you. Because you're putting yourself through this, and it's your choice. And, those people around you don't deserve to be treated like shit,
Mm.
It's all about communication. So communicate, and yeah, but it's very rewarding, and I love it. I don't know, I want to do it for my whole life. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. So to sign off now, you're gonna, because I'm gonna clip this into your video. Um, now that you're going into nationals, what's one thing you have to tell everyone that's watching, and everyone that you're gonna tell everything that you're gonna tell your competitors? Say it right now.
um,
Okay, I'll explain what we did first, and then you think about it. Okay. So this is Maya in prep. Actually, I'll prop up a photo. But the reason of how we got from here to here within 4 to 8 weeks is removing stress off her body. Was with change of training plan to help develop her body into what the judges wanted. Um, and at the same time, it's the hard work that she puts in every single day, right? It's the discipline she has. I can give her any program, and I know she's going to do 100% in that program, right? So we're definitely bringing a different package this year. Into her first nationals, she's definitely going to make a dent in the lineup, and she's definitely going to show the competitors that yes, you do have to get around Maya if you do want to win your pro card, right? So, what do you have to say about that, Maya?
I'd just say definitely a force to be reckoned with, and I think that this is just the beginning. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna come win it?
Oh yeah, I'm manifesting it.
Anyways, um, thank you again, Maya, for coming onto the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Link everything down below, like her training page, and then her personal page, and then her YouTube's also. But yeah, go give her a follow, go subscribe to her, and then you can see her journey getting onto the stage in approximately 2.5 weeks now. Yeah, but thank you again, Maya, for coming.
Yeah, thank you. That was fun.
Perfect.